Welcome back to the barn. This is part 2 of our £300 caddy from Copart. Well, I say £300. After all the fees and everything else, it currently owes us about £750. So our £750 caddy had some issues. And if you watch the last video, you'll know what we're tackling today. We've got to do the rear brake pads. We've got to do the rear suspension. We've got to look at that CV boot as well. Plus, we're going to do an oil and filter. And we're going to sort out the gear linkage as well because it's really stiff getting into gear. So with that in mind, let's get into it. We're going to make a start on the rear brakes. It should be nice and straightforward, but no, my luck, it's probably seized. Why am I like this? No, positive thoughts, guys. These rear brakes are going to be a nice, simple rear brake pad change. And with the wheel off, this is what we're up against. So yeah, the rear discs, they're okay. Yeah, there's not really a lip there, so that's good news. But the pads, I mean, they are long overdue. So let's get this caliper apart and let's get on with it. These slide bolts are just 13 mils on these. If you need to stop the retaining bolt from spinning, you need another 16 mil spanner, but the pads out, we can see exactly how low they are. I mean, get a look at that. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera. And that one is a little better, but not really by much. As well as a 13 mil spanner, you're also going to need a caliper wind back tool. Now, I bought this one on Amazon. It was about £10, maybe a little bit cheaper. It's really not a lot of money, but you need it to wind your calipers back in. You can't just squeeze them in like you can with the fronts, which is super frustrating. But for a tenner, you should definitely have one of these tools in your toolbox. If you need to know where to get one, there's a link in the description. But anyway, guys, let's get onto this. This would have been a lot easier if I'd left the top slide bolt in, folded the caliper up, and then I'd have something to steady the caliper. And then I could hold on to the silver part and stop that spinning. This took me a lot longer than it should have done, and it was a fight every step of the way. I joked about the caliper being seized, and I shouldn't have done, because these are proper stiff, so I had to get a socket just to extend the handle a little bit further so I could get some decent leverage on it. Now, annoyingly, I've got the wrong brake pads. So these £9.5 bargains were in fact not £9.5 bargains. So these are gonna have to go back, and I'm gonna have to get some from Euro Car Parts because they've got them in stock. And so Sam's gonna run down and get those while I crack on. But if you look, even on Euro's website, there's 2 different sets of pads listed for the back of these caddies. So it's probably best before going ahead and ordering any parts to actually just take a look, see what's on there, and order the right parts, because I tried to save some time and some cash by getting these online, and it turns out it's bit me in the arse. So yeah, while Sam goes on and gets those pads from Euro, I'm gonna crack on and start on the rear suspension while we're here. To get the rear shock out, we've got an 18 mil here, and I'm assuming we've got the same again up the top, accessed from between the fuel tank side. And then we can get this nasty shock absorber off with an impact gun on the bottom to loosen it off, and then an 18 mil spanner on the back to hold the nut on the back in place while we buzz this off. This was light work. And then we've got the 21 mil bolt up the top here. If we'd had a ratchet spanner, it would have been so much easier. But in a Halfords toolkit, it doesn't come with a 21-inch ratchet spanner, so we had to do it by hand. But with that out, there we go, one crusty rear shock absorber. Now it looks like it only needs 1 rear shock absorber, but for an extra £15, we're gonna fit 2. I mean, why wouldn't you? While we're here, it just makes sense. So we just stick it back in, top first, exactly the same way as we removed it, just in reverse. There we go. With the shock wrestle back in and Sam back from Euro Car Parts, it's time to get the correct brake pads fitted. I didn't see it when I ordered it online. Even though these are the cheapest on Euro Car Parts website, they still come with new shims and new bolts. Right, we can see there's definitely the right pads, which is always good. And you can see the difference between what we've got and what we had. And with a little bit of copper grease, just to stop it squeaking, we'll have this back together in no time. We just need to nip this up so it's nice and tight. That 16 holds that steady so it doesn't spin, and then we just tighten the 13 up until it's done. Just like that, we're done. We've got a new shock absorber, new set of brake pads, And that's this side all buttoned up. We've just got to repeat the same on the other side, and then we can get started at the front end. What have we got to do? That's right, we've got to go have a look at that gear linkage. We've got to work out why we've got that sticking gear linkage. So yeah, let's get the wheel on, let's get it back on the ground, do the other side, and then we can make a start on the front. Rubbish, guys, look. On closer inspection, this tyre, it's got a nail in it. Look at how we're screwing it. Okay, we're gonna have to deal with that. So looking at it, the inside edge, it's a little bit worn. I mean, it's all good, but seeing as we've got a puncture, we're gonna have to change that tyre. So if we've got to do this one, we'll have to have a closer look at the others and see if, yeah, we could be on the hook for a set of tyres, guys. This is, yeah, this is bad news. It's not what I was expecting, but we'll see what we can do. We'll have a look online. I don't know, but oh, guys, that's a kick in the nuts. That's gonna hit the budget pretty hard. But for now, we'll get it back on because we'll have to take it somewhere to get some tyres fitted anyway. I mean, Sam has got some other ideas, maybe naughty ideas, but I don't know if we want to be putting 18s on this Caddy. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I can't believe it, but only about 15% of people watching these videos are subscribed. So guys, hit that subscribe button, press the bell notification, and then you'll know the next time we upload a video, and you can keep on track with the project of this Caddy and then what we trade up into when we sell this Caddy to get the next bigger and better project. I mean, the fitment on that is a bit close. I mean, what do you think? The tyres are a bit chunky because they're A4 tyres, so they're a bit wider. It's the same size as the Mondeo, so we'd go for some slightly narrower tyres on one of these, maybe some 225s. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good, but I think it's not going to do the budget any good if we stick these on. Or if we don't want it for 18s, we've got the 17s we took off the A3. They don't look too bad, and if we need some tyres, they're probably going to be a bit cheaper. Let's have a look. They sit in the arches a bit better. Definitely a contender, but we'll see. For now, I think we stick the steel wheel back on. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? I'm not sure. Maybe the 17s, maybe we stick with the steels. Don't know, let me know. Now, at the front of the car, we need to take the airbox out. We're gonna change the air filter, but also we need to have a look at that gear linkage. I think we're gonna get away with just lubricating it because the cables have gone stiff over time. So let's take this out and see how we get on. The gear linkages are hidden underneath the airbox, so we've got a couple of little bolts to take out. Remove the intake bit here, so we've got more room to get the box out. We just need to undo the clip there on the MAF, and it comes out. Then we can start lubricating each of the different points that pivot on this linkage. After spraying WD-40 over all of the pivot points, it's moving a bit more, but it's making this horrid noise. So I guess more lube. Oh, it sounds like it's coming from here, like down the cable, but does that boot come off? Oh, hello. Let's give it a little squirtle in there. And with just a little squirt underneath that boot, I mean, it sounds so much better already. It seems to be moving a lot freer. So look, let's fill this full of WD-40, work it some more, and hopefully we've got a result. Okay, inside the Caddy, let's have a look. It all sounds good. I mean, it sounds so much better outside. It looks like taking that boot off and squirting some WD-40 in there has made a huge difference to the way it sounds, but how does it feel? Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got all the gears. So yeah, amazing. Simple. Take the airbox out, slide that boot back, spray some WD-40 in it and just work it through. We've lubricated everything else as well. It looks like a right lubey mess down there. But it's done. That's the main thing. So we can get this airbox back on and take it for a test drive, and hopefully, yeah, I mean, that's another job ticked off the list with this that only cost us about half an hour and a bit of WD-40. What a result. Now, before we secure the airbox, I need to change that filter because, again, I don't know when the last time this thing was serviced, so we're going to do the air filter, oil filter. We've done the rear brakes. Probably going to end up changing the brake fluid in this as well because it doesn't look particularly savoury. So let's get this air filter out. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. So someone's changed this at some point, but it just won't do. We're going to fit a nice shiny new one because why wouldn't we while we're here? And we want to get this thing running as best as we can. And while we're at the front end, we've got this broken hose on the washer jets to deal with. So as we said before, it's like this brittle plastic conduit. It's horrible. But we've got some rubber hose and joiners off the TT that I'm breaking. And hopefully that bit of stolen hose is going to do just the job to get these washer jets washing again. It's been a couple of days and we've got what we need. We've got a replacement rear caliper, which was £35 off of eBay. Yes, you know where it came from. China, 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 China. But that doesn't matter. We're doing this on a budget, guys. For £35, we've got a replacement caliper off of eBay. Looking inside the box, I just hope this is the right one because my track record of ordering the right parts for this has not been good. So in the box, we've got a shiny new caliper for the driver's side because the piston on the back had seized. Let's get this fitted and we've just got to tackle the CV boot and an oil change on this. And we can give it another run down the road and hopefully this time everything's going to be all right. Under here we've got the handbrake adjustment. So you can see down there, we can slacken that 10mm off and it will give us the play we need to be able to remove the handbrake cable. So with that done, you've got to flick out the ABS cable as well. So the connector for the ABS, that obviously sits in this hole here. And we've got to undo the brake pipe as well. Now obviously that's going to be a messy one, so we're going to do that last. So with this freed off, we just need to squeeze these in and we should be able to pull them straight out as well. And with the hose clamped off, we can remove the brake pipe and swap the caliper over. And with everything reconnected to the new one, the slide bolts back in, we're back together. Then it's just a case of bleeding out the rear caliper and remembering to top up the brake fluid, and we're done. Right, with the back done, we've got to sort out the front end. So we've got this CV boot, which is really, really nasty. And if we have a look at it, again, we saw it in the last video, but it is all, I don't know if you can see it in here, but it's all literally held together by electrical tape. And it's been like that for a couple of years on the MOT history. So it's a pass, but it's a dirty pass. So we're going to change this today and get this, get this sorted out. So with that done, we've then got the oil to do, and then we can take it on a test drive, and hopefully this thing's going to run like an absolute peach. So let's get this off. We need a 27 for the hub nut, and then hopefully we can get that out. No stress. The lower arm bolts out. We can pull the drive shaft out and stretch this new boot over. Just the 27 on the hub nut and then 3 bolts underneath. Okay, so I've noticed I've done something wrong here. I should have removed the anti-roll bar here, or the anti-roll bar drop link here, because I can't get the gun in there, and because I pulled the drive shaft out, I can't turn this. So I might have to put it back together just to spin that round, or maybe if I can bend the plastic out the bottom for the inside of the arch liner, I can get the gun on the back there and just lift it up. So let's see, let's see what happens. And just to make things difficult, that drop link has started spinning, so it's not actually coming undone. I'm gonna put a little set of grips on the back and hopefully I can hold it in place and spin it out. I really don't wanna have to cut this drop link off and buy a new one, but I should be all right. I've got faith. Right, with the anti-roll bar drop link off, that was hard going because it's nylocked, so you get to the end and it just doesn't want to move. So we got that off. I'm a bit out of breath because I am not that fit, but looking down here, we can see that we can get the drive shaft out. There we go, so we've got the drive shaft up here. And then, yeah, we can see how bad this tape job has been. Now with that off, it's time to get the new boot on. So we've got, for £10 off of eBay, we've got a J&R stretch boot to go on. Now, it does say that it is pneumatic tool compatible, which is good because that's what we're going to use. Because I am far too tired to be trying to stretch this over. So Sam has got a big boot stretcher, so we're going to whip this on in no time at all. If you've got a compressor, this is one of those tools that you really should have, because this just makes changing CV boots so much easier. I mean, literally, we're stretched and over in a matter of seconds. No fuss, no stress. Just, yeah, this is a great tool. With the hollow end on these drive shafts, you can pack the grease in through the bolt hole. Now with that all buttoned up, it's time to give it a road test. So hopefully we have got that gear linkage sorted. We've sorted the CV boot and we've sorted that stick and rear caliper. So this thing should drive really nicely. But what's it cost? Well, not a huge amount. So the van cost us £750 from Copart. We then spent another £35 on that rear caliper, along with another £20 for the brake pads. The CV boot cost us £10. We also fitted a new air filter. We're going to do an oil change with a new filter once we've taken it for a test run to get it up to temperature. So again, not a huge amount of money spent on this little van. And hopefully, mechanically, this thing is good to go. Now we're out on the road, what's it like? Well, I am so impressed. Do you know what, guys? I'm pleased to report that just freeing off that gear linkage has made such a difference. The box has come back to life. It goes into gear, it's just smooth, and oh, do you know what? I don't know why I'm excited. This is what gearboxes are supposed to do. But the clutch, since we've changed the caliper and we've bled the brake fluid properly, the clutch is a lot better than it was. And I don't know if it's just because it's driven down the road now, or maybe just changing the fluid has made a difference. The bite point's a little bit higher than I'm used to, but do you know what? It's perfectly usable. This is going to be a really good van for someone who wants a cheap budget van. When I first drove this, I was a bit worried that it wasn't boosting. But again, after a few miles down the road, this thing is just driving absolutely flawless. It pulls really well, it boosts in every gear. So again, maybe it's just because this has been sat waiting to go to auction, or I don't know, but with a couple of miles on it now, this thing is driving like a completely different van. I can definitely see the attraction with these vans. I've always kind of wanted one, but they're always a little bit out of my price range. And now I've got an affordable Caddy. I kind of like it. Yeah, I definitely get why so many people modify these and why they've got such a big following. So far, we've spent about £100 on this van, if my maths are correct. If they're not, you'll see on screen exactly how much we have spent. So this thing now owes us about £850, which, considering it's got 6 months MOT, I think it's an absolute bargain. What do you guys think? For a change, have I actually made a sensible decision when it comes to buying a car? Or are all those little jobs going to tip me over the edge? Well, with it back in the barn, we need to do the oil change, and then we need to tackle the interior. And we're going to get the oil done now. And the interior, well, we're going to do that in another video, because there's so much to be getting on with in there. There's the seats, there's the ply lining. It's just cleaning it. It's disgusting in there. So, guys, with that in mind, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out this video because YouTube thinks you might like it, and I'll see you on the next one.